Courtney, you were saying when we were troubleshooting about something you've done.
Oh, I watched another scary movie this week.
John's wedding footage finally came back?
Oh, God.
Oh, no, I lost that on purpose.
You could have watched me get fed pizza again.
I mean, it was like same. We watched Saw.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it because it was directed by James Wan and you'd watched The Conjuring, so you wanted to see more of his movies?
Who?
Okay.
It's funny.
It's my kinda.
Yeah, there is actually a parallel to John's wedding.
The
I remember when Kristen's like, "Would you like to take this man?"
That sounds just like her.
Saw is the directional debut of the same dude who did The Conjuring.
Oh.
So, and Insidious for that matter, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Yeah. He's done just a fucking shitload of them now.
Mm-hmm. And Aquaman.
Well, did he really do Aquaman?
Huh?
Never watched it.
Shame.
So you said that it had one of the best twists that you've seen so far in one of those movies.
Yeah. So, the first part that was really exciting was seeing Cary Ells as like an adult in a movie, because I've only ever seen him in Princess Bride. And so
I mean, he wasn't exactly like prepubescent in that movie.
He was like old as fuck in Saw compared to how young he looks in.
Well, not to spoil anything, but wait till Saw 6. He's a goddamn geriatric.
No, I'm not. We decided that we're only watching the first one, and that's it. It just ends there.
That's
The
probably
royal
a good choice, because the further you go into Saw, the farther it gets away from, what made it good.
Oh no, there's a lot of lore building, my friend.
In between violent, torture porn.
Ugh. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that.
And?
But when he gets up at the end of the movie, like, mind blown.
Did you scream?
No, but I was just like, that's incredible. Like, what a fantastic twist that he was
twist!
just laying there the whole time.
So you had
Just laying there.
You had the pleasure of watching like one of the better horror movies that you've seen in a while, and over the weekend I saw one of the worst movies that I've seen in a while. That new M. Night Shyamalan movie is fucking trash. Just hot garbage. They don't trust their audience at all, to the point where like exposition is in the form of ham-fisted dialogue delivered by really shitty actors. Either that or they're really good actors just with an M. Night Shyamalan script.
I don't understand. Because it literally, they're on an island, they get older really fast. That's like the whole premise.
Yes.
I don't understand why there needs to be exposition. One day on a desert island.
How did you get to this island? Why are you here? What's your motivation? When is the tiger going to attack someone?
I saw a meme that was like, did he just see one of those t-shirts that's like, life's a beach and then you die? Like, was that the inspiration for the movie?
I don't want to spoil it because it's still very much new in theaters even by the time this episode's going to come out. But there are some moments, especially like at the end, like the twist isn't even really a twist. Like everything's telegraphed from a mile away, and that's not me trying to sound jaded. That's just authentic. Like if anybody walks out of the movie like, whoa, I did not see that coming, you're a fucking idiot.
Can I take one blind stab?
No, because I don't want to spoil it.
Why? Just say spoiler alert and then say it.
Sure.
Or if it really is offensive to you, I can just cut your answer.
Whatever.
Are they in a simulation?
No, that's not.
I was like, that's the only stupid twist I could think of. Is plot twist, or was it all a dream? There we go.
It was also not a dream.
Oh,
And there was also, they weren't also just walking ghosts, and there wasn't one person who's just seeing the ghost the entire time.
Oh, so it wasn't
was not that
purgatory. Okay.
No.
Damn it.
In fact, everything that we've just talked about would have been infinitely more entertaining in the movie than what actually happens.
Oh, God.
I would say at the bottom tier, it's The Happening, and then right above The Happening is Old. If you're going to rank M. Night Shyamalan movies. Because The Happening was bad. The Happening was bad because it was just fucking boring. Like I don't think I've ever been as bored in a horror movie. Old was bad because it was taking itself so seriously while being so bad that it shouldn't have taken itself seriously.
Oh, okay. So they were tryhards. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. All I will say is that the twist hasn't been this popular since Chubby Checker. And speaking of pop music, Miss Courtney is going to delight us with something of a similar vein this evening. Am I correct?
Hell yeah.
Well, that's exciting.
Woo.
So, by the way, this is the Disinformed podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm John.
I'm Michael.
I'm Courtney.
And what we typically do here is delve into a random esoteric topic, and in the course of explaining it to one another, we leaven in the occasional lie or 12, just to make things interesting, and it is then incumbent upon the co-hosts listening raptly to interject and note the lies from the truths, the facts from the fiction. And no one wins because none of us know how to play.
Yeah.
Nope.
So, Calgon, take me away.
So I don't have 12 lies. I only have 3. So hopefully that will suffice.
Nice.
Don't you mean you have 4? No, wait, that's me.
Yeah, so like you said, we're gonna talk about pop music. It was funny kind of listening back to last week's episode and it being a very music-centric episode, and then trying to like write another music episode to follow a Shane episode is just not what I'm about. It stressed me out a lot. So let's do this.
It's okay. You can always just present after mine so that, you're already, everything is just you don't have to worry about, comparisons.
Are you saying that
stuff.
you're a layup?
Yes, very much so.
He'll just pass you that dunk right there. But yeah, so it's no secret that I am a sucker for boy bands. I kind of grew up in like the peak of what I would consider prime boy band time, even though others would argue that the early 90s, 80s boy bands were better. But I grew up with the Jonas Brothers and One Direction and 5 Seconds of Summer, and like I've seen all those bands live. Like that was like my preteens. Like that was the peak of music.
Were you essentially the South Park episode?
I don't know if
the
I've
one
seen
when
the one.
when Kenny wants to take his girlfriend to the Jonas Brothers concert.
What?
Because when you take essentially the joke is like it was a purity culture joke.
Oh my god.
Like you would take, or Kenny wants to take his girlfriend to the Jonas Brothers concert because it's going to get her so riled up that he's going to get laid. And then the through line in that episode is that a mouth is the filthiest part of a woman and you'll die immediately if you make out with a woman or like let her do anything to you. And then spoiler alert, at the end of the episode, he does get laid and he gets filleted and he dies.
I need to watch that immediately. That sounds
You
hilarious.
do. It's fucking hilarious.
Because Courtney is, in fact, a sucker for boy bands.
That's
so.
Yep, exactly.
It goes all the way to the top.
Once you've seen a boy band line, if you turn into a succubus, and that's just how you live out the rest of your days.
And Shane said,
God damn you, succubus!
There we go. I could feel it bubbling inside of you.
Yeah. It's just the aha.
But finally now, in today's day and age, we have the boy band to end all boy bands. We have BTS.
Yeah.
I have difficulties getting invested in a musical act that sounds like an intestinal disorder.
It's very, very close.
I have BTS. I'm sorry, I have to leave early. I had chili last night, and it's not sitting well.
What a great excuse to get out of things, though.
I ate the
Truly.
BTS meal at McDonald's, and I'll never be the same.
Yeah. It's the only thing I know about them.
True. And, to be blessed by such a terrific boy band in this day and age, even though the Grammys do not give them the damn respect they deserve.
What happened to them?
They got snubbed. They were last in the lineup of the night to keep people watching because they wanted to see their performance, and they did not get any nominations.
Oof.
Ouch.
So basically today I'm going to be telling you about the rise of the biggest music group in the world, how the group put out 3 #1 albums in 11 months,
Jesus.
how K-pop stans became a political force that humiliated Donald Trump,
Hell yeah.
and also the kind of dark underbelly of the K-pop industry.
Ooh, that's what I'm excited for.
A lot of insider trading.
Unfortunately. But bodies.
Like human.
Yeah.
Human trading.
Unfortunately.
Oh, I thought we were getting back into the suckers again.
In a way.
Yes. True.
Everybody likes a snowball from time to time. It's fine.
Or a blumpkin.
Or felching. Just whatever your preference.
Good God. K-pop itself is actually a newer genre of music. Most of the music that was broadcast in South Korea and to their audiences was more of like slow ballads, and another unique genre called trot, which is a very like slow and like rhythmic sounding music. Like it's all very like droning.
Is
Is
trot
trot
bullshit?
bullshit?
Because
Yeah.
Nope.
Why would they call it
it's
a
such
trot?
a bizarre name for a
something-
genre.
Yeah, for something so slow. I feel like
so
That's what happens once you get BTS.
You get the trot?
You get the
Got the
trots?
trots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shane and I may have gone to a trot show at one point or another. Remember there was that record store right next to Yucca, and you had a
Yeah, that was a
coworker?
thought show, I think.
Shane took me on a really romantic date,
Aw.
I did.
Um,
It was good times.
and I had no idea about the group that I was going to watch, but it was a friend of Shane's, and let's just say, to crib from Shane, I was not quite ready for it because it was just white noise, like oscillating white noise,
Mhm.
essentially, and pink noise.
Yeah.
So is that trot? It's just whooshing noises?
No, not quite. It does have a lot of like vocal effects kind of situation. I didn't listen to a bunch of it before this. I was going to, and then I ran out of time.
Way to take care of your bears.
Yeah, I had to take care of my bears. And so basically it wasn't until around 1987 that the South Korean government would reform its policies and it would lighten its censorship. So radio and TV had been under very tight controls, which caused certain artists and songs, specifically rock music, to be banned by the government. And independent artists, or even just music production that was independent of the government, was non-existent.
I would hazard a guess that it's not rock music that was banned.
That's funny because I almost put a lie there, but I
Okay.
didn't. So it was rock music.
I thought we were going to flip back and forth from last week, and it's like, it was rap music.
And that was the lie I was going to put in, and that's why I
Okay.
didn't.
All right.
Well done.
I'm on your wavelength.
Perfect. So basically, any music that was debuted to the Korean audience was done so through talent shows that were broadcast on TV over the weekend. So they would basically, every weekend, they would get their audience together because they pretty much had like 2 channels. And it was like, watch the news that we feed you or watch these people that we've approved to sing on TV. Yay.
I think there's like a less scary version of that in Canada. I can't really speak a whole lot to it, but that's how a lot of like one of my favorite bands, Alexis on Fire, how they got really popular is that if you made it onto certain parts of Canadian television or like their MTV, if you will, like that is what really like skyrocketed artists. But I don't think it was like censorship and control like you're mentioning. But
Sure, more of just like a popularity thing.
if
Yeah.
they
Well, there's a degree to which, not to cut you off,
No, no,
Michael,
you're
sorry,
fine.
but the Canadian television is actually wired so that you actually have to have Canadian-made television for
That-
a certain percentage
go.
of the hour.
there you go.
So, yeah, so they will not allow you to just import other people's entertainment. They want to have entertainment by Canadians for Canadians,
Huh.
Because
which is quite lovely. So, you know, you got to keep the maple infusion very, very concentrated.
yeah, not to change it too much, but that's why I kind of learned about it in a roundabout way is because Alexis on Fire is a hardcore band and they've won awards in Canada. And I thought that was really fascinating. Like they won like big awards, like more like commercially successful stuff. And I thought that really weird because, you know, hardcore music doesn't really get awards, you know? So that's why I look into it a little bit. So
Okay.
thank you for
So the awards are like, you know,
like a
2-year
Juno.
supply of Tim Hortons.
yeah, basically. Yeah.
It's a lifetime supply
Except
of
for
maple syrup.
Yeah.
I'll take the donuts instead. I do like maple, though.
So kind of along the same lines as what John's talking about as far as like being discovered from a show, there was one fateful weekend where a talent broadcast in 1992 featured a band called Seo Taiji and the Boys. And they would break the mold by singing, dancing to an original song that took a lot of influence from American pop and hip hop music, which was very much outside the mold of what had been performed on this show so far. Not only did they not win the talent show that weekend, they got the lowest scores of any act that whole day. Like it
C's
was
get
just,
degrees.
They bombed, according to the judges. However,
Corner
their
universities.
single.
Sorry.
It's either that or it's Simon Cowell talking to Josie Scott all over again.
Oh,
Jesus.
Oh.
You're never going to make it in the music industry. Well, as a matter of fact, I happen to have #1 song in America. Me and Chad Kroeger.
They said a hero will feed us.
Indeed, I got to meet half off there.
I want a quarter pounder with cheese.
Exactly. Yep. So basically, their song that they played, it was called "I Know," and it ended up after their performance, topped the Korean charts for 17 weeks straight.
Whew.
So the audience did not agree with the judges that night.
Did they record it on the show and then release it that way? Or how did it get into circulation?
Yeah, so it was a song that they had already kind of put out, is my understanding.
Okay, so then they
performed
just
it,
kind of
and
flashed
then
forward.
People were like, oh, shoot, like, we really like this. This is very different than what we normally listen to. In fact, that song held a record for 15 years with the longest time at #1 on the Korean charts. So kind of shortly after that performance happened, there were some bright ideas going around like, hey, we need to start, producing music that sounds more like this because it's clearly going to make us a lot of money. So as 3 main studios kind of popped up, and then there's lots of little ones that have tried to follow suit. But really in Korea, there's like the 3 main studios. And when they first started, the first official K-pop group was called HOT. And they were comprised of 5 singers that embodied this new image of music. Catchy tunes, on-point fashion, and then just the best dance moves. Like, that is one of the things that they really value. And so this band, they really thought they had the potential to break into the American market. It's the 90s. We've got NSYNC. We've got the Backstreet Boys. Like, let's see if we can get this Korean group to that same kind of level. And so they were even chosen at one point to do a benefit concert with Madonna to try to see if they did some kind of crossover, if they could get them in front of the American audience and see, do you like us? Like, is this good for you?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they didn't really take off the way that they kind of hoped. Like, they did really well in South Korea and kind of the Asian market, but they never really hit that like big time American market.
Madonna seems like an odd choice to pair a boy band with, though, unless she special ordered them.
I was going to ask, what was the event for? Because that's the only kind of connection that I can see between them and Madonna, if it's like something that's, benefiting at least South Korea, or something that's at least tangentially related to the group.
Well, it's like a prayer, Michael.
Oh, I'm living on it.
Unfortunately, the article I was reading didn't say what the benefit was, and I didn't look it up separately. But my guess would be, at the time, kind of her music and sound was kind of like tangentially related to what they were trying to do, and with like the backup dancer situation, like they thought it would be a good fit.
Okay.
Is it bullshit that there was a benefit concert with Madonna?
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Okay.
So I'm sniffing around.
I'm like, I can't imagine that, like, unless it was
Like,
just
usually-
mentioned offhandedly, but it sounds like it was important enough to where it should have been mentioned.
And promoters try to pair like with like. I know it doesn't always happen, but typically if you've got a
Right.
boy band, you're going to want to have it with some, because cross-blending your audience, like if you're going to have a female performer, you're probably going to get a lot of guys and girls anyway. But
Unless
yes,
it's like a big, like, I think, was it during the Haitian earthquake, I don't even know, a decade ago or something like that, Lincoln Park, if I recall, if I'm connecting the correct disaster with this relief concert.
Okay, I
it
was like, Haitian earthquake. I don't know their catalog. What?
That's my favorite band.
Lincoln Park hosted, like, it was like a massive 3-day long benefit concert that took in people from every sort of genre. If I recall correctly, I'll double check it. Future me will do that, and if I'm completely wrong, it'll be in the show notes. But I feel like
For
if
those
it's,
that like research.
yeah, if it's if it's a smaller thing that's more localized or something like that, but if it's supposed to garner like national attention, I can imagine them pulling that. But That's why I
Let's
asked.
stop talking about your smaller things, Michael.
So here's the crazy part. It wasn't Madonna. It was Michael Jackson.
What?
Yeah.
Well,
Now that makes
That
sense.
makes
That does make
yeah.
sense.
Because he's a lot more. I mean, he's the king of pop, so it's,
Right. And-
Popping what we're not going to discuss. But
Exactly.
Ooh-wee.
Oh God.
Zippity zoopiest Jesus juice.
Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
Yep. So they were kind of like the first real official, according to my sources, boy band from Korea, the first K-pop idols. And then from what I read, also the first major actual breakthrough artist to come out of Korea is someone that we all know and love that sings one of our favorite songs. Anybody want to take a stab?
Daddy don't like.
Is it Blackpink?
Nope.
Oh, I don't know.
Does anybody remember a little song called Gangnam Style?
Oh,
Oh, I
sorry.
tried to
Yeah,
forget.
There you go.
Whose favorite?
When you said that, I thought you were talking about I can't pronounce her name, or no, their name, because she came out recently
I'm
as
not shocked.
non-binary. Utara Hikaru,
Bless you.
but she's from Japan, so that's why I got confused by it.
Can I just say I have never been, well, that's might be a bit hyperbolic. I was very severely traumatized by my mother doing that dance.
Oh God!
And that's how you know you have transcended cultural barriers
Oh.
is when,
Exactly.
crazy Sherry's got her hands folded,
Lovely. Crazy
riding the
shit.
horse in front of her friends and
Where is
family.
that video?
Yeah,
Can we get a hold of
Can
that?
you find that video?
Doesn't exist, sadly. I only
Oh.
saw it with my eyes, and then I scrubbed my retinas with acid for
you
45
could always
minutes.
text her and just be like, "Hey, it's really important for my art."
Hey,
that
do
you-
this dance. Yes.
Nope. The next time I see her at a show, I'm gonna go up and we're gonna Gangnam Style together, and it's
Okay.
And
gonna
it'll
be
go on
magical.
TikTok, and it'll be
Hashtag
might actually-
viral.
That'll be a vortex will open up, and one of the elder gods will actually break through to this astral plane if that happens again.
So that's how you
just
summon Eldritch Horror.
yes, be aware. This is actually how we're going to call any number of random creatures
Call of
out
Sherry.
of the ether.
I'm taking notes here. Okay.
I'm so excited. So Gangnam Style is from our favorite one-hit wonder, Psy, who is from South Korea as well. So that song did really great in the American charts because we all, for some reason, couldn't stop listening to it.
I disagree.
I also disagree.
Now, if this were pen, pineapple, apple pen, I
Oh.
would go with you. But no, not Gangnam
You
Style.
guys just making up words tonight.
Have you never seen that video?
No.
Oh my God, we're watching.
I have a
that later.
family.
Not after this.
God, he has a family.
Ma'am, this is
Think
a
of the
Wendy's.
children.
Most groups that were put together by their labels, which is basically how Korean pop groups get put together, and I'll kind of get into more detail on that later. BTS was they were formed under a couple different names. They went through some different member changes before they became what they are today. And then their actual BTS, a lot of people thinks it stands for behind the scenes. It actually is just a shortened version of their actual name, which is Bangtan Boys.
Oh,
Really?
Fun fact. Yep.
Huh.
is that bullshit?
Nope.
All right.
Cool.
I thought about trying to make up a name, but I'm not clever enough.
I
I
disagree.
feel it. I totally understand. As
I
someone that has
actually
no
thought that the
creativity.
BTS stood for Bathe the Sheets, but that was just my
that would have
initial.
been funny. I'm not funny. So basically, what makes them different from most K-pop groups is they actually take part in the songwriting process. They aren't signed to what's called slave contracts, which I'm going to talk
Oh.
to you about.
So they're the Hanson of K-pop.
Sure. I don't know enough about
No, I'm
Hanson
thinking
to
Jim
say,
Henson. Never mind.
One might say that you understand the reference.
but I don't get the point.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
Um,
no.
And then the other thing that was really different about them was they spent a lot of time talking about personal struggles, whereas most K-pop artists, their whole thing is modeling perfection, perfect body, perfect singing, perfect dancing, whereas they were like, no, like we're going to talk about real issues, and they have built a really big social media platform and following because of that.
BTS presents IBS.
Exactly.
It's an
You'll know their
important thing to
career
talk
has
about.
ended when they start doing those commercials.
Oh.
Where My Dookie Go by BTS.
Do you have erectile dysfunction? Well, if you do, we got a song about it.
Oh man.
It's called Pee Pee, Where'd You Go?
Would that be butter?
It's called It Was Hard, and then it's not.
Oof.
Life is hard, but now I'm not.
Is that what you're hoping to break into with your music career? Once like Damn the Weather cools off, you're gonna just start doing like jingles for erectile dysfunction medication?
No, if I'm breaking into things because of my music career, it's going to be homes because I have no other alternative.
Can you give me just a quick tangent real quick? I need to ask
yeah.
Shane a question. So Shane, you're reading Once Upon a Time in Hollywood now, right?
I have 60 pages left.
Same.
Okay.
So you read the sequence, just you talking about breaking into homes reminds me of the sequence in the book where one of the Manson
The
family
creepy
members
crawl?
does the creepy crawl. So literally like
Yeah.
she's butt naked on her hands
Even
and
better,
knees.
it's Pussycat. So
Crawls on her hands and knees after breaking into a home in the evening, goes into the master bedroom while they're sleeping, and just kind of like gets all cozy. She takes some pictures.
she changes out the light bulb
Oh, there we go.
for a red bulb, and then she turns the lamp on, and then she
screams.
runs, screams, jumps onto the bed with this elderly couple sleeping, and then, rolls around, and then jumps up and runs back
So-
out screaming.
This is just a Friday night for me. I don't.
Well, the thing is, like, one, you reminded me of that, and then just retelling that part of the story, like, that actually scared the shit out of me when I was reading it. That was so fucking creepy. But anyway,
Yeah,
I just had to get that out.
Just imagine me doing it.
I don't have erectile dysfunction anymore.
Can I take us on another tangent real quick?
Yes, please.
So the home invasion thing reminds me of, I don't remember what podcast it was, but there was a guy who was buying like 5-gallon buckets of petroleum jelly and sneaking into people's homes and rubbing it all over himself and then like slithering around the floor and like under their beds. And he wasn't like doing anything to the people. He just wanted to like be under the woman's bed.
So he was kind of like the character in HBO's Watchmen that just slip and slides into a sewer drain.
Apparently.
He's we call him Snail Trail.
Well, and that we're having a hard time solving it because they were just finding like trails of petroleum jelly just like all over.
You shall know me by my trail of goop.
The detectives walk in, they're like, man, they be fucking in this house.
But
When did you have the orgy, ma'am?
It was really creepy because it was all single women's homes that he was breaking into and going and hiding under their beds. So
If you woke
terrifying.
up in the middle of the night and you just heard that like and you walk down and you like look or like you just go into your kitchen, there's this
you
guy
need to
just
slip
like
and fall.
making petroleum angels in your
I
kitchen.
was gonna say I have a dog in my house that only has 4 teeth now, so I hear that sound quite regularly.
And
I
that's-
wouldn't be
no.
shocked.
That's why Shane loves ASMR so much. It's that same sound.
He's just surrounded by it. Yeah.
Man, if this guy makes a channel, I'm in.
The visual of somebody breaking in and then like trying to like slither through your it's too much.
Can
It's
you
even
research
better.
that?
Yeah, I can.
Please.
Now, if you try to stop him or apprehend him as he's running out of the house, you go to grab him and you just slide off. You're there, you're laying there like Bill Murray in Ghostbusters, like, he slimed me.
Oh my gosh.
What's the semen to jelly ratio, you think?
Well, I think that's how they identified him was
That's what I'm saying.
I think it increases throughout the night.
yeah,
Even that, though, I mean, like, the carpet burns on some of your sensitives. I'm not looking forward to that at all.
With
Like, the
enough
jelly's going to wear
jelly.
off.
Anything's possible.
There
It's
is a
not
difference.
jelly anymore, because jam don't shake like that.
That's right.
Fair enough, I guess.
and this week on the Home Invasion podcast.
Take
See what
We are
happens,
expanding.
Shane? See what happens when you try and break out with your music.
It's the,
I learned
the
my lesson.
I'm trying to break in, remember. But, yeah,
Oh.
the Disinformed podcast network is just expanding exponentially.
Amazing.
Expanding into a home near you.
So now we have butt rock and home invaders. Nice.
I thought we were just going to call it jellied.
I like that better. I was going to say, can home invaders end with a Z, but I like jellied better.
And it's one episode. It's a limited series.
Because we get caught the first time.
Wait, are you acting this out?
Yes, that's what he's saying.
Yeah, of course.
We record on location as we're slip sliding away.
And then it turns into like an ASMR because you're like, and now I've broken into the house and I am slightly closing the door. You can kind of hear it. Okay.
Oh my God, it's Doberman! Ah!
It's got me by the balls. It's
Oh,
over.
amazingly,
Game
its
over.
teeth are just slipping off of my body.
Ooh, that feels strange.
Come here, Pooch.
I got some peanut butter too.
Somewhere, 4 listeners just turned off our podcast because they can't handle ASMR in any volume.
I understand. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you.
I have lubricants and amyl nitrate and pornographic films, and we're going to be recording a podcast later.
Would you like to record a podcast?
Do you take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband?
Oh boy.
Get us back.
I don't
Courtney.
know how. It's gone.
Would you like to make a snowman?
So anyways, basically they broke the mold. They didn't follow they didn't follow the traditional K-pop trajectory as far as image goes.
They slithered out of the restrictions of genre.
Yeah, I would say they
With
like
some
slid
petroleum jelly.
right out from under the bed, and they
John,
were really...
you fucked me up. I'm sorry, because now all I'm hearing is just, can't catch me.
You can't catch me.
Sorry, Courtney, please.
No, you're good. So good. So basically, because they were more relatable to fans, that's a really big theory as to why they skyrocketed to the success that they have today. And basically, their fan base, which has been dubbed ARMY, because they are literally militant, and you should be afraid of them.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes.
Oh, God.
And I'm going to give you an example because, as I mentioned before, Donald Trump learned the hard way that we do not mess with the K-pop stans.
I remember this.
Why couldn't they just kill him?
You know, I don't
Yeah.
see it
He's
outside
got
the
a
realm of
point.
possibility for them, maybe. I think they could if they wanted to. I did see one article, I didn't read it, but it was something about the South Korean government was kind of afraid of K-pop fans. And I should have, if I had had more time, I would have read it. But that headline alone was just like, this, you should be afraid of them. They're terrifying.
Again,
Is this how we got Corona? Was it germ warfare?
No.
we're back to Watchmen because they definitely have the mentality of you're not trapped here with, I'm not trapped in here with you. You're
stuck in
trapped
here
here
You're
with
trapped here with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, it sounds like John already knows, but it was last summer in Oklahoma. Donald Trump had a rally that he had planned, and they were doing online reservations for tickets. So every person could go and they could reserve 2 tickets. And so at one point, Trump's campaign manager was bragging. He was like, yeah, we have like 1 million people that are coming to this rally in Oklahoma, and we've set up all this extra space, and it's going to be like the coolest thing.
Boomer sooner.
Yeah, exactly. And so basically the K-pop fans, and if you were on TikTok last summer at all, you saw tons of these TikToks were like, look what you can do, and you can put in fake information and you can reserve these tickets. And so basically when the rally comes around, 6,200 people show up, and the organizers were forced to close down all of the overflow they had set up because they were expecting 1 million people to come to this rally. And not only did they do that, they've also, like, I think everybody knows pedo Matt Gaetz from Florida.
Mm-hmm.
He recently had a rally out in Phoenix as well, and same kind of thing. You were seeing lots of people go online and put in for fake tickets to try to kind of get these events to either shut down their websites or to not happen at all.
Ah.
He's just trying to support sex workers.
No.
Also, I don't know who you're talking about.
You don't know who Matt Gaetz is?
What?
No.
He looks like a South Park character
He
actually sprung to life.
Does, yeah.
If I could go to jail for one thing, it would just be killing that man.
Sliding in petroleum jelly into Matt Gaetz' house and just shoving it down his throat until he stops breathing.
So he sounds like a pretty cool guy.
This week on Jellied. Matt Gates' house.
We open the
season
gates
on season 2 of Jelly.
of hell.
He's our season opener for season 2. Yeah.
Waste of good suffering.
Yes.
I thought you liked it slick, Matt.
Oh.
Anyway, what did this guy do? Why is he evil?
Because he is known for sleeping with teenage girls.
What
and
is he,
then-
a Cosby?
And then
Was he in our band?
And then paying for it through
What?
What?
Yeah, through Venmo, and there's
Yeah.
like a whole
And
like you
it's
can
a
see all his
very-
transactions.
Very big, obvious paper trail. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and somehow
He's not the
in
brightest
jail.
bulb on the death tree.
He's
but,
from
yeah.
Florida, so
Yep.
take that as you will.
He's also got 2 tickets to heaven that he bought on a street corner in front of the Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Where are you when they're selling tickets to heaven?
I got it from an alligator.
Great callback. I love that. K-pop stans have also come to the rescue when nasty hashtags like White Lives Matter started trending on Twitter.
Gross.
They flooded the site with K-pop related imagery and videos and an outpouring of love and support to the Black Lives Matter movement. So basically, anytime like a really awful hashtag trends, all the K-pop like stans get online. They use the hashtag, but they just fill it with like their own content, and it just blocks out all of the shit. And
I
it's
love
just
that.
it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
This
I
even.
mean-
Oh, go ahead.
No. I'm going to leave it. Because it's just going to get cut out of the episode anyway. So I'm just gonna keep it where it was.
And that is personal growth.
I'm getting that
Kinder,
lanced next week
gentler
just to see if it's
Shane.
got anything
Kindlier, gentlier.
in it. Kindlier, gentlier, greasier Shane. Sliding to a floor near you.
Basically, this outpouring of support for the Black Lives Matter movement even prompted BTS to take a stand, and they made a statement in support of BLM. And so, for the record, I would like to say that this podcast does stand with all K-pop stans. Please don't come for us. We love and respect you. We would never do anything to upset you. Please don't come for us.
Some of us would like them to come for us. Excuse me.
I, for one, welcome death.
I'm not
so-
doing it right if they don't, so I'm going to be very
I like
upset.
that Shane goes with coming, and Michael goes for death. So you have a real analysis on the inner workings. of
Actually,
both
it's
of
the
these
best
men.
way to go. If a K-pop fan is
If you got
coming
fucked to
on me
death
and
by
I
a
can't
K-pop
breathe,
fan,
Come for
you
me.
smothered me.
there's some weird petroleum-filled energy right now.
Unfortunately,
Petroleum
I
yeah.
should have
Soda.
never told you guys about that.
Just slinked
You-
out from under
I
the
like
bed,
that you've
ready
been on
for
the show
death.
long enough, and you're still like, yeah, I can bring up something like a lubricant. And Shane and John are gonna let that lie.
No, I've literally
Or
caught myself
slide.
editing out words that I'm like, yeah, this will trigger a joke. If I want to keep moving, this is how it has to
You're
be.
navigating the minefield that is our very juvenile sense of humor.
It's jokes on you. I can sexualize anything.
Trust me,
Boy,
I
do we
tried.
know it.
I've slept with John.
I'm
Whoa.
still needing therapy about it.
Yes. Listen, I ran low on the petroleum that evening.
And he's
Yeah,
never
resort
been
to
the
the
same
spit.
since.
Ooh.
But I think we all agree on the stands.
Yeah.
We stand the K-pop stands.
We do. We love
Indeed.
them.
And we stand Lee.
Until we really want to be famous, and then we'll pick a fight with them.
That's
Sure.
what I was thinking. But guess we
I
We
have
won't.
can't do our
sampled at
usual
least-
braggadocious thing here because it'll backfire.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
we can. I have eaten at least 18 different flavors of Kit Kat.
That's actually
I'm with you.
That's a fact.
I support you.
So this is the part of the episode where I always take a dark turn because that's
Ooh.
my whole thing.
It's my favorite part.
Unfortunately, there's no breast milk in this episode.
Aw.
Sorry, I apologize.
I'm leaving the
Mommy.
conversation. Bye. See you guys
I-
next week.
So which one of them died?
And I'm Michael.
Oh Jesus, we're going there now. All right, sweet. Do you just want a 3, 2, 1 Band-Aid rip, or is this a slow burn?
Maybe we should mention triggers or
Yes, I will say triggers for suicide, and just treating people shitty, just
Okay.
poor human treatment.
Okay.
I feel like Triggers for Suicide is another band name that we're missing out on.
It really is.
Suicide.
Write that one
That is
down.
a good one.
It's Asher's new side project. It's going to be short-lived.
Oh,
Sure
I
enough.
want it to be just like a drum solos and then spoken word about like veganism.
It's just going to be
Asexuality.
samples because he can only.
I love that.
He's going to program 3
Maybe-
notes and then he's going to walk off stage and we'll never find him again.
Maybe that's what he's doing in between songs when we practice. Maybe he's rehearsing his material in between, and that's why he never shuts the fuck up.
He's just whispering.
And the suicide will be us.
The suicide
see.
were the
I
friends
see where
made
it's
along
going.
He's
the
triggered
way.
me, certainly. Anyway, Courtney, I'm sorry. We'll stop
Yeah.
derailing one of these days.
We're a chatty bunch of Cathys
No, it's
today.
good.
Ooh-wee.
So basically, the industry, like I mentioned before, it has a dark side. So the process of becoming an idol is what they call it in South Korea. So you're not a pop star, you become an idol. To go through it is an absolute nightmare. So imagine this: you wake up at 5 a.m. every morning. You went to bed at 1 a.m. You
Sick.
ate an ice cube for breakfast because management told you you're too fat and you need to lose weight. You go to a dance rehearsal and sweat it out for hours, which is followed by grueling singing rehearsals and excessive working out. You can't have a phone, you can't have relationships, and every moment of your day is spent in training for hopes of debuting in a group.
So apparently you've never been a musician before.
When was the last time you had an ice cube for breakfast?
Today.
Yesterday.
John, you can't bully Shane like that. Terrible
I also
management.
had to pick it up off the floor because I dropped it initially. It just slipped
No,
out
you
of my
took it
hands.
under the fridge.
I like to make Shane and his dog fight for it.
I got it from under the fridge because that's where the petroleum took me.
Whee!
Everything's a roulette wheel when you're covered in jelly.
We're just picturing your house as like a pinball machine.
Actually, it's more like a slalom track.
Okay, but in all seriousness, that is completely fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not the worst of it.
Oh, so you're telling me it gets better. All right.
Yeah. And the cool thing about this is they start with kids as young as 12 who have even just the tiniest bit. Yeah, Shane. Yeah.
It's a bird, you pervert.
Is it 12 or is it younger?
For the article that I read, I believe it was the Vox article that I cited,
Okay.
said 12 to 13.
Okay. For some reason, that seems like, honestly, given the amount of abuse that's in that industry, I feel like it should have been earlier.
It's not actually age they judge it on, Michael. They wait until they sprout pubic hair and then you can be incorporated.
I guess that is a good point because in your vocal pitch and everything changes, so they probably
Right.
want to wait until at least that is started. Because if you're singing like falsetto or
The
almost like soprano.
ululations of
Yeah.
sliding in and out of prepubescent, postpubescent.
Yeah.
Well, and
That
a lot
makes
of these
sense.
kids, even prior to joining these like trainee schools, have taken dance lessons and they've taken voice lessons.
Yeah.
and
You have to.
But this is like when you get into the shit, because any kid that has any little smidge of natural talent, the parents are like, well, we could try. We'll see.
Make it big.
Yep. But the thing is, it's estimated that per year to be a part of idol training is about $50,000.
Whoa.
And that's going to cover your food, your room and board, your lessons, your wardrobe. And none of that is covered by management. Management's like, you pay us to be in our group that we profit off of you. Cool.
Whew.
Sounds
Yay,
like
capitalism.
college sports.
No, they
Not
college sports,
anymore.
They
Well,
can
now- well,
take
yeah,
sponsorships
now they
Now
can,
they
though.
can, yeah,
Yeah.
but in
But
the
I'm saying
past, yeah.
Prior to this year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even college athletes were doing a lot better because some idols report that they were only making $1 to $2 US per day,
My God.
while they're trying to pay off this $50,000 a year contract. And these contracts can last up to 13 years. And if you break out of them, you're in for it.
In for what?
You don't want to know.
That comes
Murder.
I
later.
feel like he does.
Murder.
So basically, these contracts, they're called slave contracts. Like I linked the source for that. They are required to pay back every cent that went into paying for their training. And while you're in these contracts, you are basically under their control 100%. They restrict who you're in contact with. if you're allowed to be in relationships, what you wear, if you get a haircut, like literally every aspect, anything you eat, it has to be approved.
I have something that this made me think of, and I think it's appropriate. The reason I made the joke I did earlier. Hunter Thompson has a quote that I have always related to, and I feel like is very closely tied to what we're talking about right now. Is the music business is a cruel and shallow money trench, a long plastic hallway where thieves and pimps run free, and good men die like dogs. There's also a negative side.
Amen. No, that sums it up perfectly.
That's very
absolutely.
Mwah.
And so,
Tasty
like I
quote.
mentioned, if you try to get out of these contracts, you are risking financial ruin for yourself and your family. And so, unfortunately, this has led to many idols committing suicides. I did end up reading, there was one that talked about the last thing he had ever wrote, and he was like, "This is the only way to free myself from this."
Jesus.
Which is just gut-wrenching. Most of the trainees will never even become idols. You will do this for years and years, and you may never even debut, which is also just devastating. In fact, there was another thing that I read that talked about how even though academics are so pushed in South Korea that a lot of people between the ages of like 16 and 21 have a really hard time getting jobs. And a lot of that has to do with like the time that they spend training for stuff like this and it just not going anywhere and then getting out and trying to find something else that they can put their skills towards.
Yeah, because you're already way far behind than people that don't spend every waking moment practicing dance or singing. Those aren't really skills or talents that you can take into other jobs. So you're already at a significant disadvantage in that case. I mean, I thought I was funny, but I guess not.
No, Shane's face is just... He's
No,
disgusted that you would say that.
No, as he was saying it, I'm thinking like, okay, so this means that all of the gangs in Korea basically look like, the West Side Story Jets and Sharks running down the street because all of them are failed, pop stars. So they're all just dancing, snapping their fingers and killing each other.
When you're a jet.
Oh, man. Yep, basically. Yeah. So basically at this point, like the FTC in South Korea is finally starting to address this. One of the things they put in place, which I was like, really? Like that's the best you can do, is that these contracts are only limited to 7 years now. Because the difference between 7 and 13 years.
I mean, that's
It's
5
half.
whole years. Yeah, that's practically half. Yeah, I would say that's a definite win. Cause for celebration there. Mm-hmm.
Sure.
We did it,
Yeah.
boys. We solved the problem.
There's a lot of human rights advocacy happening.
Oh,
Oh,
I wonder
what?
why.
Yeah. And female trainees experience some of the worst treatment by far, especially when it comes to body shaming and appearances. Who doesn't love really forced plastic surgery? Like your nose could be better, so we're actually going to make you get a nose job if you want to continue with our label. And stuff along the lines of that. Eating the one ice cube was an actual story I had read about a girl who, and these girls are all stick thin anyway.
Yeah.
And she was basically told, like, you can only eat ice during the day until you drop like 5 more pounds, which she didn't have to lose, which is absolutely gut-wrenching. And then along with kind of the female groups, they're kind of subjected to 3 different categories of what they will kind of put them in. So basically with female groups, they are really focused on what the male gaze is. So what do men want to watch? What do men want to listen to? And so the first type is this shy schoolgirl trope. We have the empowered woman looking for an older man to fulfill her fantasies trope. And then we have the badass woman who doesn't need a man, which is
Boss
also
bitch.
supposed to be a turn-on trope as well, because they're very overtly sexual. It doesn't help also when you have lyrics like, you can double dip because I know you like me.
Good old Selena Gomez feature.
Yep, that's a Blackpink lyric. That song is very suggestive.
No, they just like ice cream.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Can I hazard a guess and say the sugar daddy one is bullshit?
No.
Oh.
Nope. Looking for that older guy to really to show you the world. Essentially, is the trope there.
Okay.
Why did we have to go to Aladdin?
I was there too, man. Yeah.
Because I can show you the world.
On a
Shining
a
magic
whole-
carpet.
Shimmering
A whole
petroleum
world.
jelly.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Slide right off the carpet.
Oh no! Oh, he fell off somewhere in Egypt. We got to turn
No
around.
one to tell us no.
No!
Tell me, princess, when's the last time you had a slip and slide?
Oh god!
A whole new hole.
Oh.
I'm a dinosaur. I'm so covered in petroleum.
Man, I picked the wrong topic. I should have just gone all the way with the petroleum jelly man.
I mean,
you got it. You got
At
an
least
easy
now you
episode
know.
next time. Easy episode. You need like 5 minutes of content, and
No,
the
knowing-
rest will just write itself.
knowing Courtney's luck, she'll do this amazing prep for this episode, and then she'll do it, and we're like, nah, we've moved on. We're not interested in
It's not funny
petroleum
anymore.
We don't talk about petroleum anymore.
You're like,
That's
that
so.
was-
It's so early season 3.
Indeed. My boy band is going to be called Jelly Roll, so it's good times for everybody.
So yeah, like I was saying, they fall into these different tropes, which definitely lays the groundwork for a lot of sexual exploitation that happens in that industry. There was actually a recent bust of a nightclub that was owned by a K-pop star that had to do with, the police covering stuff up, human trafficking. You can read articles about it. I didn't want to get into it because I was like, I already want to barf.
Yeah, you're not going to feel too good inside after reading that kind of shit.
Yeah, it's just not great.
Was this some sort of bust? Yes, ma'am. It's very lovely. It's bad when I'm on a Naked Gun joke from like 1993. Something's very wrong.
It should come as no surprise to any of us that these trainee factories continue to try to churn out as many idols as possible. In fact, the Korean government has changed laws to make sure that they can keep these groups together, because bands like BTS bring in a whopping $507 million a year, and
Yo.
that's just one band.
It's a gross national product of half of the bloody planet.
Wait,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Can I call that number bullshit? Because I know it's a John lie, but I just have to.
Man, he's fucking swinging.
I
today.
know, no, that's not a lie, but
Okay.
I thought about changing it. So yeah, great job.
I was like,
Michael's fucking
anytime,
hungry today.
He's hot on the
anytime
trail
someone says
today.
numbers, man, I'm like instantly like, nah.
Erect because you're a nerd.
Well,
'Cause you
yeah,
Nerd.
love
and then
numbers
I
so
go
much.
off of that erection that something is up. So yeah.
Ooh,
All right,
my
well.
erection's
Oh,
pointing
that
me
was
this way.
completely unintentional.
Gonna do an episode on a number station and just watch you turn to jelly.
Ooh,
Oh boy.
be still.
Oh,
my
no.
beating heart.
Destiny, come quick! They found a new number in pi.
I don't need that. I don't need any help. I'm good on my own.
And now it's called a la mode.
Shotgun blast to the finish line.
Yeah, that ought to last him to the end of the year.
I'm happy now. I'm content. Talk to me the next time Pi has another number come out.
Oh god. What are they coming out of the closet? Like what?
So
Yeah.
Michael's autobiography or now his new porno film, both aptly titled Life of Pi.
So with boy bands and girl bands and K-pop idols in general being one of the biggest exports of South Korea, naturally, like I said, they're going to change laws to keep that going because it's working very well for them. Most notably is the BTS law, which was put in place to keep the oldest member of the group from enlisting at the military at age 28, which is required for all able-bodied men in South Korea.
Is that bullshit?
No.
Wow.
And this is actually the Rolling Stone magazine did an article about this because it was so kind of revolutionary to just music in general that any kind of laws would be put in place to keep bands together. But essentially the law states that the entertainer, if they have received a government medal for their domestic and global cultural contributions, would be able to apply for deferment of their enlisting.
So
Some animals are more equal than others.
Exactly. And they have actually similar laws in place for athletes. So when we're looking at the 2018 Olympics, if you want a medal, guess who doesn't have to go be in the Army?
Interesting.
I guess it's kind of motivation.
Yeah.
So you're saying the cut off as in you have to join or enlist in the Army by the time you're 28. So then if you were to pass 28 and you didn't at that time, that's when you would start facing legal repercussions or something like that, right?
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. I the only reason why I asked is because other countries that I know that have that mandatory conscription, the age is younger. As in, like, when you turn 18, you have to serve X amount of years in the military, and then you're off. That's why I was a little confused, because that was a different way for conscription that I just was
Gotcha.
curious
Yeah,
about.
no, the article I read, it did say 28. It even talked about, like, it might push it out to just, like, 30, but it depends. You can kind of keep applying for deferment based on your global success.
Oh, okay. Because so you can still be conscripted after that time,
Right.
but okay, got
So
it.
you're 65.
Well, are you able-bodied at that point? I think that's where they start to get into.
I mean, am I able-bodied now? That's definitely not the case.
That's another episode.
So all in all, I think we'll continue to see kind of a rise of K-pop, especially when it comes to American radio. Currently, right now, BTS is really the only group that's broken into American radio. They have 2 songs that are played, which would be Dynamite and Butter. More and more American artists are also trying to get on those sweet collabs with them, because they realize now that the cross market, especially with the amount of money that South Koreans will spend on merch and on tours and concerts and all of that, like, they really want a piece of that. So artists that have done K-pop collabs include Nicki Minaj, Halsey, Kanye, and then the heir to the Benihana's throne himself, Marshmello, who actually remixed BTS' first ever all English song.
Huh. Did Kanye do that?
Yeah, he has done, I don't know if it was with BTS, but he did do a K-pop collab.
Huh. Interesting.
So naturally, I'm super excited to kind of see who else kind of goes down that road and what else comes from it. I don't know if you've ever seen any K-pop music videos, but the amount of money and production that they put into it is just insane.
They're so much fun.
And so that, my friends, is a brief overview of the glorious genre of K-pop.
Okay. Well, we got
do
one of your
you-
lies, right?
Do you prefer movie theater butter on your K-pop?
No, just BTS butter.
Boo.
There you go.
Sticks to the roof of your mouth, though. It's so creamy.
All right. So, yeah, you guys got 1 of 3.
All that swinging, Michael. Yeah, you didn't even
Swing and a
make
miss.
contact.
Thought I did.
No, he did. He got
Yeah.
that.
No, I
Madonna-
meant
wasn't
like he got
Madonna.
one,
Yeah.
but like
Oh,
he was supposed
oh.
to get all 3 of them.
Well,
This is-
I mean-
look at me. I
I'm-
didn't get all 3 instant fail. What are you, the education system?
I mean, I also am giving
Yeah.
myself partial credit because I was the one who
True.
started us on the Madonna Inquisition here, Michael.
Shane definitely gets he gets half a point and I get half a point. I
Okay.
would definitely
You're both
agree with
half of a person.
Cool.
Okay.
Oh,
and
that's
you're
a
just a
compliment,
0.
Thank you.
Exactly.
I was
stats?
thinking, were the oh no,
Oh no.
No.
were the 1 million folks expected to be at the Trump rally? Was that a conflated number?
That is what the campaign manager
Okay.
said.
I
All right.
remember that.
Yeah.
Because that was the one that was supposed to be on Juneteenth, right? But they moved it because they
I
were
think
going to have
so.
it in Tulsa.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
really
Real bad.
yeah. So they moved it back
Yeah.
one day.
Don't act like that wasn't intentional.
Yeah.
Oh,
no
it
kidding.
definitely was. But enough people actually noticed and told them about it that they're like, "Oh, I guess we'll change it."
Oops.
Oops.
Oopsies.
Yeah,
Well, how did
exactly.
I know? Oh.
What do I know about knowing?
Shucks.
So then if there's no more stabs, I'll go ahead and go over the other 2 with you.
Yeah.
So I very quickly mentioned that the artist by the name of Psy was a one-hit wonder. He has actually had a very long and very illustrious career in South Korea. He has collaborated with Snoop Dogg. He has a song called I Got It From My Daddy, which is the most hilarious music video I have ever seen.
Maybe we should watch it as a group.
We
as a little
absolutely
postscript
should.
thing.
You should have said a trigger warning before that for incest, by the way.
I do want to make a note that when you said one hit wonder, I thought you were talking specifically about in American music, because I do know that he was actually kind of dipping down in popularity when he came out with Gangnam Style.
Correct.
Yeah, and then when that spread over to America, that kind of reignited his popularity for a bit longer, if I recall correctly, right?
What you were saying, though, Michael, is that he dipped down. Is it okay if he double dips?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you know that you like him.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
And because he got it from his daddy, so.
Oh my god, I can't wait to watch that with you guys. It makes me so happy.
It'll happen.
Is
Jonah
there
will
is
be
there
so-
at least is there a clip of him screaming at a woman's ass? Because that was my favorite part of Gangnam Style.
I totally forget.
No, but they do superimpose his adult face on a child in a school classroom flirting with a teacher, and it's
Okay.
hysterically disgusting.
All right.
Okay, I am
Um,
intrigued, disgusted
the-
but intrigued.
The last lie that I snuck in right at the very end was I said that the heir to Benihana's himself, Marshmallow. I'm really disappointed that none of you know enough about Steve Aoki, that his dad is the one that founded Benihana's.
I don't even. Yeah, I haven't even.
He's
I don't-
techno,
I don't know.
right?
That-
What?
Allow me to show it the respect it so greatly and richly deserves.
Shane
only-
made a gesture of throwing his spunk.
The only
No,
thing
I was tossing the onions into the air with a spatula.
Yeah, it was. He was throwing a shrimp in his hat,
Oh no, I just thought he was throwing. I thought he was Spider-Man.
which is now
I
what
made
we're
the oil
calling it.
volcano.
Listen, man,
Yeah, the only thing I know is
coming
that
is coming.
He was in like a Beats episode or something like that. I can't remember. And then he was on like episode of like
You know, by Dre.
some MTV show. I can't.
I'm wearing them. I should know, but I didn't know they had episodes.
Guys,
Anyway,
I'm
Wait,
just
I'm
really.
not
Next
hip
episode.
with the youths,
I didn't-
man.
like, come on, like
Youth.
I'm
Steve
not hip.
Aoki.
What did you say about the Marshmallow Man?
Yeah.
Hey, wait,
exactly.
this guy's a sailor. This is New York. If we get him laid, we got no problem.
So it was Steve Aoki that actually remixed their first ever all English song, which
Oh.
is really, it's a fun song. I like it.
well,
Got it.
okay.
Aoki.
Aoki. Aoki.
And that's what I got.
Aoki,
folks.
Annie?
That was fun. That was a little less. There was a surprising lack of suicide compared to last week.
Michael thought he was a smooth criminal in the background. Don't
What did he
worry.
do? What did he do?
You'll have,
What'd you
you'll
catch
have
him-
to listen. No, you'll have to listen.
Oh God.
You know I don't do that.
I know exactly.
Yes, we do. I think we actually have certifiable proof at this point, and I'm
We
just
do.
waiting for that to finally, become relevant. But until that time, Courtney, you did an amazing job.
Yes, that was a fantastic episode.
Thanks, guys.
And if I hear any more bullshit about you following me after an episode, I might just worm my way into your house with petroleum jelly some night and just
Yeah,
prove how wrong you are.
Well, you know what it was is I made the mistake of looking at the stats that we have in the Google Drive and being like, oh, nobody likes me.
Yeah, if we've proven anything over the course of our prior discussions is you shouldn't do that because it's not really indicative of quality.
Oh.
No,
And the fact that Michael is our statistical leader.
technically yes, and then also like urine therapy is one of our higher rater hits, which makes no
I
sense.
mean,
to
that
me
thing
whatsoever.
was kind of brilliant through no fault of your own. it
Okay, yeah,
actually-
because I was gonna say the episode itself probably my content wasn't.
Hey, that's how people treat pink eye, Michael.
Ooh, there you go. When in doubt, just piss on it.
That's it's a life motto to live by.
There's the
You know-
season 3 T-shirt.
When in doubt, whip it out.
Fetishes have been started with those statements.
Fetishes have been started for less.
Oh my God, I figured it out.
Uh-oh.
It just occurred to me, and the answer
no.
was in our previous episodes. If we're trying to find the culprit of who the petroleum penetrator is, it's fucking Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh,
She
shit.
said it in her website name. It's fucking Goop.
Goop. Oh, it all
Wow.
comes together. Wow.
That's
Everything
using
comes
the grape.
back to Goop.
It does
That's a
make a lot of sense.
multi-season arc. That's
And she's using the
fantastic.
psychic vampire repellent in order to avoid detection.
Oh my god, I'm
Is
getting
that
goosebumps.
before or after she lights the vagina candles?
Actually, she's just slipping jade eggs into people.
Oh.
That's why she's
What
the
a marketing-
petroleum penetrator. Whoop, and there's an egg for you.
And she started at Stardust Ranch.
Oh, God. Everything's connected. Goes all the way to the top.
I don't know
Do you
what
think she has
portal.
like a potato gun that she puts the jade eggs in with the petroleum jelly?
If she doesn't, I'm sending her one for Christmas. Because that sound alone will put me to sleep for 7 nights in a row.
Slip, slip, slip. Whoop, whoop.
All right, Kristen, I'm so sorry, but you deserve this. We should
Speaking
get
of
her back on
Eldritch
the show
horror.
at some point.
True.
Just a maw full of tentacles just
You,
welcoming the jade egg.
You asked, or you told Kristen to get back on the show when she's sober, right?
I
Shane?
did, yes.
Last episode?
I offered a wonderful invitation because she needs to talk about the panties that she's going to take off of her body and send to Michael.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Oh, we
Her
actually
favorite
we
moment
had
of the
an
whole show.
in-person conversation.
Did you? Oh, good. Oh, good.
No, she told me specifically, "Hi, Kristen." That was the one thing she really regretted about the whole exchange. Is she's like, "I don't want people to ever think that I'm sending Michael my panties.
Wait,
I'm going to conscript somebody else's panties for this purpose and send them to him."
so she wasn't upset or regretted talking about the incense? The incest?
The
incense.
incense.
Are
Yes.
you fucking kidding me? Did he just say incense?
He sure did. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't speak. This
Yeah, Michael.
there's hundreds
She's
of
real
episodes.
upset about the patchouli.
Apparently so.
Well, it's heredity that he would get that wrong, so.
Hair to tray. Gone tomorrow. But, yeah, sorry, Kristen. You would never, ever deign to send undergarments to Michael. But if you want to send Michael something, let me tell you how you get your gateway.
Like,
Because
like
if you...
a 5-gallon bucket of petroleum jelly, we will mail it to Michael.
Or someone
Please.
who's just, slides out of it covertly at the break of day.
It's
You're
like
saying-
it's like the giant cakes that people get
Yeah,
where the
yeah,
person
yeah.
bursts out, but it's literally just a tub of petroleum and they bust out like boom.
Also,
Then-
you're saying all this, Shane, like you're not just going to give the address, and
Yeah,
when you have
yeah.
the address, you can play creepy crawlers,
Yeah.
covered in petroleum jelly.
Exactly. You can change all the light bulbs in Michael's home. And you can even place one in his mouth or his nostrils while he sleeps. And
They'll
you know
light
how
up.
you
He's
get
super
that
smart.
information? Is that you tell us how much you love and adore this show. And let me tell you how you do so. If you enjoy this thing on your preferred podcast provider app, then just, give us a little rate and review. Tell us that you love what we do because we'd love to hear from you. And for every comment that you offer, we will offer you Michael's address, social security number,
I have
ways to clean his pipes because he's too lazy to. I mean, there's just
What
any
if-
number of things that we
what
will
if it
reveal
wasn't-
to you.
What if it wasn't his hair? What if someone's just been
Ew.
breaking into your house and
Oh my-
shoving hair down your drain?
I'm gonna talk to my landlord.
Well, you know
about
what the
this.
Actually, that's my
solution is.
escape route.
Like BTK's granddaughter, like just grew up and she's like, well, I could never like bind, torture, or kill, but I could fuck with people and like shove my hair down their drains and really fuck up their plumbing.
This hair is blonde. What the?
She's BTB. Bind, torture, block.
Which poses the new question: what problem can petroleum jelly not solve?
It's true.
I haven't met one yet,
Yeah.
if I'm being honest.
And for
Even
you
world
listeners
hunger,
at home,
you can at least
can eat
fake
it.
it for a week.
yeah, for you
Yum,
listening
yum,
at
yum.
home, maybe you should tell us what can't petroleum jelly fix?
And that you can find on our TikTok when we finally answer you, or we take your answers because we've got one and it's incredibly popular because we're over there on the TikToks at Disinformed Podcast. We're also on Instagram, which Courtney dedicatedly, takes care of, cultivates, and curates over there, and it's lots of fun. And that's at Disinformed Podcast on Instagram. You can also find us with your drunk uncle over there on Facebook, facebook.com/Disinformed Podcast, and of course on the Twitters at Disinformed Pod if you want to see a bot generate all of the times that we post episodes. But also every occasional Wacky Wednesday on the Tubes of You can find fan fiction, random comments, and eventually the Disinformed Book Club, which will be winging your way at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Guaranteed whenever there's actually content that we can provide to you. So those are all the ways, all the lays and ways that you can show us how much you jelly us. And that said, everybody else, how you doing this week?
Pour
I'm
some
good.
jelly on me.
Huh?
In the name of petroleum.
What did you say?
Huh? What?
I'm a Def Leppard.
When we have Kristen back on the show, you'll have to ask her to tell the story about when her and I worked at a UPS store together and her favorite customer that her and I still quote to this day.
Oh.
There's a little plant. Yeah.
The
we'll-
BTS, UPS, STD.
And I guarantee that bitch is driving
cavalry.
in her car right now. Listen, just heard this, and she's chuckling like a little idiot to herself.
And there's wingy dog ears, apparently.
That was true. Mhm.
Indeed. Well, does anyone else have anything that we would like to offer our lovely listeners? Do we have something that occurred strange,
I mean,
swinging
for
out of
our-
the way, other than painting an ottoman?
Yeah, I mean, for our Phoenix listeners, Shane and I have our first full band show coming up in August. If you want to come see us make loud noises,
They don't reward attention-seeking behavior.
Will
Apparently,
you be sliding onto stage?
I'll
I
be
can't
sliding
help
into
it.
something.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's going to be August 15th at the Rebel Lounge. 6:30 doors, 7 p.m. is the show. We have a bunch of friends on the bill, and we're really, really excited to do it. Also, don't be a dum-dum. Make sure you get vaccinated so that we can keep doing shows, because that would be a lot of fun, because we need to keep playing shows. We need to keep doing this.
And this is the Disinformed Podcast reminding you to help control the pet population and have your pets spayed or
Spayed and
neutered.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
And also be sure to neuter your Michael.
Or else I'll
Can't
get
have
out of
more
control.
of those little rascally goofballs running around, you know?
I mark my territory extensively all the time.
I feel really bad for the women in your household.
I feel bad for them too.
Michael, it's funny that both you and Nicolas Cage have been besieged by bees in the past, and I have a feeling it might be how you end your life if I keep getting any more of this nonsense from you on this show.
Breaking my legs won't bring back your goddamn honey. That's what I love to yell.
I'm telling you, the both of you need to catch up with us on watching The Wicker Man, both the original and then the
A double
ghastly
feature?
fucking remake. Because
Oh,
it's
man.
well worth it. But yeah, I was sitting there the entire time just turning to Melissa and going, they have absolutely missed the fucking point of what the first movie was trying to indicate, and they've just turned it into What Women Want Part 2. Death, dismemberment, and big baskets of bees.
That's all my favorite things.
Indeed.
Shane, how did it get burned?
How did
How did it get burned? How did it get burned?
Best part of that movie was the 5-second clip you sent me of him punching out the barmaid. That's the only thing I laughed at. So, but that is a story for another time for those who keep bees. And it's going to be interesting for Courtney as well. She can see the connective tissue of what actually inspired her people.
Woohoo.
Okay.
Those who, have mail-sent packages full of stingy objects. But thank you all for being here for another action-packed edition of Disinformed. We have loved it as always, and thank you, Courtney, for stellar material. Thank you, John, for your shining personality. And thank you, Michael, for letting us get it over with.
Amen.
Indeed. So for the Disinformed podcast this week, I'm Shane.
I'm John.
I'm Michael.
I'm Courtney.
And zip it a zoop, we're out of here.